Good connection there. That's money. Just on it right now.
And because it's often missed, because the big lats can be in the way and also because your arm can cover it, a lot of people don't realize this muscle's sitting clenched and shortened for long periods of time. And for some people, when you put pressure in this area, they get that good pain sensation. Hey guys, it's Elliot from MMT here with Ninja.
Hello.
Today we're going to look at a muscle that gets often missed. It's called the serratus anterior. We've got a couple of videos on it already, but I wanted to show how I treat it with a bit of a twist. Why do I want to treat this muscle? It's a muscle that sits on your rib cage and connects up to your shoulder blade. So from rib cage to shoulder blade, when it shortens, it helps to pull the shoulder blade forward and down. So does this look familiar? One of these positions, one of these positions. So when we're hunching or we're in this kind of forward rounded shoulder position, that muscle's assisting with that contraction there. Most people will feel a discomfort, not necessarily in the muscle, but in other areas. So in the shoulder blade, between the shoulders, usually you'll say, oh, my upper back is feeling quite achy and stiff and I just want someone to roll that out and massage that. And we'll do that, which will give some relief, but it won't fix the original problem, which is the shortening at the front there. Okay, so some of you might be trying some pec stretches, which is great, but this is a hidden gem that we can get into. So we're going to use our illustrious model here, Ninja.
The best one.
Yeah, we're going to get him on his side.
For interrupting your video, guys, but I want to talk to you about the MMT Online Academy. So you might have been looking at Ninja and I doing our stuff for a long time now, thinking, how good would it be to work at MMT? But you might be overseas. This is your chance to get exclusive content, updates from us every single day to make you a better practitioner, more new customers, better results, and skyrocket your income. So if you want to be on the inner sanctum, get into the Academy. All you got to do is dedicate 5 minutes a day to making yourself better, and it's just $28 per month. How good's that? $7 a week. Let's go.
So when we look at anatomy pictures, we'll see a lot of muscles on the front and the back. We often tend to miss the muscles on the side there. So on the side, we can see the lats, nice big muscle that goes across the back there, all the way down to the pelvis there. But underneath the lats there is the serratus. It's called the serratus because of its jagged shape, serrated, like a serrated knife. Right, and you'll see boxers have it as well, that jagged muscle that sticks out. You might be able to see a bit of Ninja's one here. He doesn't do much boxing, but you can see a bit of the, yeah, there's some of the fibers there. Yep, so that's just the edge of that muscle, but it's not just a small bit there. It's actually quite a large muscle. It's bigger than my hand. All right, so if my hand was here, the muscle's probably 2 hand widths of it. So it actually goes all the way up through there and attaches on the inside of your shoulder blade. Okay, so if I demonstrate where the muscle would be like that, if it's shortening, it's going to pull that forward. Okay, so very important for us to have that muscle to help stabilize the shoulder, stop the scapula from winging. Also helps with things like pressing. So when you do your push-ups or your bench press, you're really engaging that muscle to lock in your shoulder girdle. So in terms of treatment there, some people do treat along this edge here while the arm's in this position, but the arm's in this position, what's it doing to that muscle? It's probably shortening it, isn't it? So if we want to release it, we want to get some length out of it, we need to position it where it can be lengthened. So we get Ninja to put his hand just there, and when we do that, we get to encourage what's called scapular retraction, which is an opposite motion of what that muscle does. So now the shoulder blade's going back, and we can even encourage a little bit of elevation as well. Okay, so as soon as we do that, now the muscle's already stretched. Okay, and then we can access it. So we can go in with a palm or we can go in with the fingers. But what I've been doing recently is using my forearm. And if you want to get funny with it, you can also like almost hook your arm in, like as if you're locking arms with someone. And that helps to support the arm there. You can use the other hand to support the weight of the arm, so they're not just hanging. And then using the edge of my elbow and my forearm to hit some of the back parts of that muscle there, so I can start to feel underneath my forearm where that edge of the muscle is and sinking into it. How am I going there, Ninja?
Good connection there. That's money. Just on it right now.
And because it's often missed, because the big lats can be in the way and also because your arm can cover it, a lot of people don't realize this muscle's sitting clenched and shortened for long periods of time. And for some people, when you put pressure in this area there, they get that good pain sensation where you know that that muscle needs to chill off its tension. So a lot of desk workers, people will sit at the desk with their shoulders hunched forward. I do a lot of this for them. And there's also, I like to train these positions because it's a nice open position, but you can read off the client, get a nice clear line of communication, lock in with the spot. And while I'm pinning that spot there, I can also drag it, so almost pulling it down towards the floor.
Unreal move, man. To steal this one off ya.
Yeah, it's a money one.
It is.
So here at MMT, we don't just like to squish muscles. We want to encourage them to get into a position where they can flow and move nicely. And so one of the main things I learned since working here is how we can go into a muscle and drag it back. So not just squish it, but we can push into a muscle, pull it back, encourage movement into the fibers. And some of our movements are very subtle, so I'm sort of exaggerating what I do so you can see a bit of motion here, but angles are just shifts in weight pretty much when you're pinning. Now, of course, that muscle doesn't just work on its own. The lats can come in and assist it. So when we're hunching or locking down our shoulder blades, your lats can also tighten. So where I'm at is a bit of the junction of the lats too, and we're also dragging the lats out to the side, giving a bit of a sweep.
Whoa.
Is your shoulder okay sitting like this?
Yeah, it's good, man.
Yeah, so if you're trying this on somebody, just make sure you get feedback that they're still comfortable with holding this position. You can remember to support the arm, so that way they're not holding it themselves. And yeah, do a bit of a Google search as well on the location of this muscle. Look at some images and see how big that structure is and how much it spans your rib cage to your shoulder blade. And some people will say, oh, it's under my shoulder blade. I've got this pain, I can feel the tension under my shoulder blade. And sure enough, you can dig under the shoulder blade on the inside there, get into the rhomboids and mid traps. You'll probably get to the other end of this muscle, but then you'll miss all this other stuff here. Some people will also have one serratus a bit more tight or clenched up compared to the other. Maybe they're doing a lot of protraction on that arm. Maybe it's their mouse hand sitting in that rotated posture. Does that sound familiar if you're working from home? And some of you at home as well will be thinking about trying to address your posture because you don't want to be in that hunch position, so you tend to pull your shoulders back or sit up straight, and it feels quite tiring to do so. Part of that reason is because you've got so much tension pulling you forward, so when you're trying to pull it back, you're just doing a lot of work trying to hold that position, creating a bit more tension actually, fatiguing out those rhomboids. One thing I realized as well is that we tend to feel muscles that we work quite a lot, not the muscles that are not working enough.
Good point, mate. Oh, that's good. I can feel that underneath my shoulder blade.
A bit of a referral feeling there.
Yeah, that's spot on. That's a weird feeling.
As long as the client's getting a muscular muscle release sensation, that's good. If they get a bit of a nervy sensation, like a tingle and stuff like that, you might need to shift your position because there is the long thoracic nerve there. You don't want to crush that thing because then it makes the nerve not work properly. There's some stories I've read of people who've damaged that nerve using crutches for too long. Yeah. So where the crutches would go underneath your armpit there, they'd crush that nerve and paralyze the serratus, and they'll get winging.
Yeah.
When we're doing body work, we're trying to bring function to the body, not paralyze it.
Yeah. Jesus.
Yeah, so again, it doesn't look like I moved much, but all I've done here is just attacked at a different angle.
It's really good, man.
So you might be also contracting this muscle a lot in the gym when you're doing bench press or any sort of pressing motion there when your arms are out forward and rounded. That's good to strengthen it, but it can also tighten it up. So make sure that you train into range as much as you can. Good exercise for that is the dips, like the chest dips. As you lower yourself there, that position, that serratus has to lengthen. And as you come up there, you engage the serratus as well as the pecs to help you launch upwards. So that's where that muscle comes into a big prime mover action. Okay, after I sink out, there's a spot where I've been treating. And so you can play around with this a bit more if you want to. Like, I find my fingers get a bit more of a touch for what's happening under the skin. And when you're doing body work a lot, you tend to develop a bit more like cameras on the ends of your fingers and feeling the contours of muscles and where they're happy and where they're not. So here's a good spot to launch into where I'm hitting a bit of the serratus back here, but also some of the lats. And there's a bit of like a sticky spot. I'm just sinking to it there. Yep, so you can see me flick over it there. If I do that. And then again, pinning down and dragging back. Making sure we're not pinching any skin. Just trying to go for those deeper fibers. So I might use double thumbs for this. And now, yeah, so now I'm starting to move more into the lat and teres region. But have a think about the opposite action of the muscle, or what's that muscle look like when it's in its lengthened position. That's how we can encourage it to
Whoa.
its full range.
Oh dear, oh dear.
Yeah.
Zoink. It's going different spots. Ooh.
So a bit tucked under there. Again, pinning underneath and dragging it this way. Pinning again. And it goes a lot further than we think. Okay, so again, if you look at those images online, you'll see that the serratus actually goes really high up into the armpit and the axilla. And as I push down towards the body there, I'm hitting some of those fibers of the serratus. Yeah, so just making sure that one targeted there. So what I can feel is Ninja's rib cage, and the ribs and bones, and just hitting the soft tissue in between with the emphasis of opening the region up. Okay, this area here is quite a sensitive area. A lot of nerve endings that can trigger us to protect them. So hence while we sort of hunch, we're trying to guard some vital areas, trying to protect where some blood vessels may lie, just like our throat and behind our knees, we tend to tuck in. And so those nerve endings are sensitive, but the tissues can also be tight. Okay, so anxious postures or stressed postures will get us to close in and shut down. When you're feeling vulnerable, when you're feeling challenged or attacked, our natural instinct is to shut in, protect those vital areas, because that helps us survive out in the wild. But then if we do that for long periods of time there, those regions stay stiff and stay quite shut in. Okay, sinking out. Awesome. So that's the serratus attacking from the side and under the arm there. And then once you've sort of seen that that can flow a bit nicely, you can start attacking some of the other common areas there. So that's when you can go through the pec, release that, the pec minor and the major, so then the shoulder blade can come through there. And just imagine if all this is in good balanced tension, so a bit more lengthened, then trying to adjust your posture to here becomes a lot easier because you don't have all this fighting pulling you back in, right? So we don't have to challenge these muscles. They don't have to work so hard to drag all this out there. Okay, so if you're feeling pain and discomfort through here, yeah, get on a ball, get a bodyworker to help roll and work through these tissues, but make sure they check in what's pulling from the other side and underneath. Okay, so once we've released the length of those muscles and Ninja can now move his shoulder blade this way, we want to also encourage a bit of the flexibility to go this way here. Okay, so if we remember the serratus does protraction and depression, so we want to be able to get some more length away from the depression. So making sure that might get you to turn a bit more onto your side there. All right, let your arm go, so I'll take the weight of it. That's it. And now we can really attack along this vertical line. And so what I've got here is the shoulder girdle and encouraging it to be in a bit more elevation. So we get length out of these fibers here. And there's quite a lot that we can target. So we're doing this, just stripping away. And I was mentioning that you can feel those muscular pains in the rhomboids, but you can also get them in the upper traps. That's another very common one actually, that everyone gets. And what do the upper traps do? They shrug your shoulders up, all right? So if they're shrugging your shoulders up, that's where they get quite tensioned, and we get them worked on a lot, but maybe they're getting tension because they're being challenged from the other side. They're being dragged down from this region. So these muscles are pulling down. That's already a lot of work for those upper traps. So a lot of you will probably get treatment done on your upper traps to release the tension in them, and you find it keeps coming back. There's a good chance your shoulder girdle is being locked down and forward. So another area of targeting the tight fibers.
That's good.
And you can go lower down as well, even to a bit of a lat and through here. Alrighty, how are we going there?
Good, man. Bit of pain in there.
Some more money spots found, hey?
Yeah, that's good. That's what it's all about. You want to hit them, you can change them.
Yeah, change them.
Yeah, don't hit them, you don't change them.
That's right.
That's it. Thanks for that very, very good demonstration today, mate. Very knowledgeable young man.
So if you're one of those people that has one of these sorts of postures there, you want to get it checked out, come on down here to MMT. We can dig those money spots out for you, free up that posture, get you back to moving normally. Get it done.
Get it done. Done.